one thing that you said that I thought was interesting because I just did a video on Friday. It just came out on basically what you said about telling your girlfriend that to not see any guys, like any guy friends, right? That not allowing her, because some guy had asked me on Instagram, and a lot of people were complaining about my take on the video, because in the video I said, hey, you just tell her like it is. You just say, hey, this is my standard. You know, if you don't want to comply, that's fine, but you cannot have friends that are guys if you're with me. And a lot of guys were like, oh, that's so mate guarding,
Insecure.
so wussy, yeah. And I'm like, well, first of all, like in my mind, it's like, okay, that's just fucking common sense. And second of all, hey, I don't like it. If I don't like something, that's enough. I don't need any more justification than I don't like it, right? And I think a lot of guys don't get that. Maybe you can help drill it in their head a
Yeah.
little bit more to understand why it's so important.
Yeah, so there's three important things to discuss. One is that this is the most important. That women are never single. A woman is never single. The idea of a woman for like a man going 6 or 7 months without talking to, dating, fucking an ex, messaging some guy, they are constantly either talking to a guy, sleeping with a guy, even if they're not fucking anyone, they're talking to 5 or 6 guys on Instagram. Yeah. Women are never single, which means every single time you get a girl, you're taking her from other guys. She likes you the most, which also means that even if she's with you, when she's around other men, she's still poachable. Would you want your girl being friends with me? No, you wouldn't, because you know what I'm going to do. So this is the first thing. So women are never single. So this is why the idea of her hanging on with a bunch of dudes is not acceptable in person. And she's going to come out and go, they're just my friends. You may pretend to think they don't want to see you because you know they do. You may pretend to think that, but they don't view you as a friend. This is the first. The second thing, women will come at you and say, why are you jealous? I say, no, I'm not jealous. I'm territorial about things I care about. For the same reason, she goes, well, but don't you trust me? It has nothing to do with trust. Yep. I trust the locks on my Lamborghini, but I wouldn't let people try and break in. I'd say, get the fuck away from my car.
Right.
It's not yours. So for the same reason, even though I trust the security system on my car, and I trust, even though I don't trust her, I'll stay up with you, I trust your internal security system, I'm not going to let people be disrespectful to me as a man and openly try and poach something that's mine. Right. That's disrespectful. And there's two choices. I either care about you and I'm territorial, or I don't care about you and I'm not.
Exactly.
You can make the choice. If you really want to hang on those dudes, I'm not even saying we can't talk. I'm not saying that. No problem. But don't expect me to give a fuck about you in the way I could give a fuck. And when you tell women, this is one of the key things, when you tell women, I will care about you less if you act X way, it's very hard for them to act that way. They want you to care.
Right.
They want that emotional energy. You're like, you're making a choice that's going to end in a detriment to how much I give a fuck about you. And if they make that choice, you have to act accordingly. If she makes that choice and you keep acting like you love her, then she ain't gonna feel it. She has to feel it, you know. This is the second thing about the whole thing that's really crazy. This whole male friends. Third thing, it's never been normal. This is some new think bullshit. In the 1960s and 70s, it's never been normal. And I always say to girls, I say, does your mother hang around with a bunch of guys? Like, what do you mean? Well, your mother's with your dad. Was your mom's with your dad? What would your dad say? Your mom went out partying with a bunch of guys. I say that, and they actually go, no. They actually, the idea of their mother doing that actually offends them. They're like, no, like that's not. So why the fuck are you doing it? Like, wait, your mother's a better woman than you. Did she not raise you right? And when you put it on that dynamic, a lot of them actually snap and go, yeah. But then what they do is, with me anyway, then they go, yeah, but I don't know you're serious. And that's the real issue. And they come down to, well, do you actually care about me? I don't know you're serious. And I say, well, how can we ever become serious if you're hanging around with a bunch of men? Then I can never be serious about you without looking like a punk. So if you truly believe there's a future for us, you're gonna have to make a decision now about whether you're gonna act accordingly. Yes or no? And if you lay down those points, you can be quite humorous with it. You can be quite funny, but in a very nonchalant way. You can't be. A lot of the people talk about mate guarding and all these red pill guys. You can't get angrier. Yeah. Like I see guys go, oh, you're hanging around with them dudes. Right. Then she wins. Yeah. Pissing you off.
And you're insecure.
Emotional energy. Now you're insecure. When you say, oh, you're going to hang around with a bunch of dudes, yeah, I don't normally date girls. I like you. I like you. You're cool. But those kind of girls, like, I don't know. I'm going to, why do you trust me? It's like, oh, it's not about trust. It's just, I don't know. It's not my thing. I find it disrespectful. I don't like those kind of girls. So now you're telling her she's not a good person.
Exactly.
You flip it on.
Instead of pulling her and trying to grab her, you're pushing her, which is the key. Yeah.
Exactly. And now she's like, well, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a hoe. I'm like, well, would your mom do this? Would your mom hang around with a bunch of guys? That's what I'm going to do. I'm just asking. Like, your mom's with your dad. Like, they had a relationship and they had a family, and like, if we're ever going to be anything serious, I just don't think it's normal. It's not the kind of thing I wouldn't want my wife hanging on with a bunch of. Yeah, we're not married yet. Like, but how can we ever advance towards anything if this is what we're doing? Just keep laying it down, and you'll see they usually comply. Now, if the woman won't comply, she really wants to hang around with those dudes, then she's gonna suck their dicks in. So then at that point, there's nothing you can do. Just accept she's a lost cause.
But you're saving yourself pain later down the road because you're weeding it out early on, right? Because it's not going to change later on.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for her. The truth is, if a woman truly loves a man, she doesn't want to hang out with him.
Exactly.
She doesn't. I put another thing I put on Twitter when one of my bands. I said, if a woman truly loves a man, she doesn't find other men attractive.
Right.
And I put this up, and it blew up. Woman's like, my girl thinks Idris Elba's number one. Like dudes coming along saying how their girls fancy other men. It went viral, like 10,000 views. And everyone's calling me insecure. I'm like, I know that if a woman truly loves another man, they don't like men. You can look at a woman still in a fucker. They don't view men that way. They're like, no, exactly. I love him. They're uninterested. Men become like trees. They become obsessed with the